The Situation Room with Wolf Blitzer, weekdays 4 Eastern.
Because, Ben, they like going after Wall Street right now, and those big bonuses, the health insurance industry here in Washington, Fox News.
The health insurance industry are beggars compared to Wall Street. Wall Street pay is so out of line, so insane, it's absolutely over the top in every way. To hear Rahm Emanuel, though, who got paid something like $7 million for 18 or 20 months' work by Lazard Brothers, complaining about it is pretty funny. Larry Summers, probably the best economist in America, got about $5 million from a private equity firm for a very small amount of work. Look, Wall Street owns this country. I mean, I hate to say it as a Republican, they own this country. Get used to it, and there should be a campaign against it.
Let me bring Ariana into this discussion because she's itching to weigh in. Go ahead, Ariana.
Well, Wolf, I love what's happening right now because it proves once again that this anger at Wall Street is not about left versus right. Here is Ben Stein saying that Wall Street owns this country. And there are people across the political spectrum who feel that what's happening right now, this disconnect between the Wall Street economy doing so well and the real economy doing so badly with almost double-digit unemployment and massive foreclosures, is really a massive problem that everybody's going to pay a price in 2010 at the ballot box, but the Democrats are the incumbents. And clearly they're beginning to see, as Stu Rothenberg wrote about in Roll Call today, that they are in real trouble, not just in Republican-leaning districts, but in districts where African Americans and young people who elected Barack Obama are basically abandoning the party. The disillusionment is spreading. But here's my concern. Why are they sounding as though they are merely campaigning? They are in power. There is so much they can do. I couldn't believe when David Axelrod said yesterday that we only have moral suasion. Well, how could he say that? There are billions of government guarantees at the moment that Goldman Sachs and Citi and Bank of America are benefiting from. They can clearly say that these will end unless they actually start lending to the American people, unless they end those bonuses, and unless they stop fighting real derivatives and consumer reform.
Well, I think they're trying to do some kind of consumer reform. You know, the problem, Ariana, is, and I think you'd agree with this, is that you can only do so much at once. Right now, they've clearly got the moral high ground. It's easy for them, as you know, to take on the insurance industry, to take on Wall Street. That's good for them politically. But in order to get this reform passed, as Jessica Yellen was pointing out, takes a bunch of time. You know, you don't just snap your fingers and have something happen overnight. I think if you ask them in the White House, they'd like it to happen overnight. But it's, you know, sometimes it's a little bit more difficult than that when you've got to pass health care reform first.
Well, there could, look, the Congress could pass a maximum wage. There is such a thing as a minimum wage. There could be a maximum wage.
You really want that?
I absolutely.
What would
I don't know, but I'll tell you what. I'm a stockholder of Goldman Sachs. I have a lot of my retirement in Goldman Sachs. They pay their officers far more than they pay all of us hundreds of thousands of stockholders. The company is owned by us stockholders. We take all the risk. All the money goes to the insiders.
Because, Ariana, you know this, I'm sure Goldman Sachs repaid the federal government for the bailout money, the direct TARP money that they took in, but they got billions through AIG, the insurance company that came to AIG from the federal government, and that money wound up going to Goldman Sachs, which I understand they have not given back to American taxpayers.
No, and they have gotten 100 cents to the dollar, Wolf. There was no negotiation. It was unprecedented what they got as a counterparty to AIG. And they are still getting guarantees from FDIC, from the Fed. And also, of course, there's the ultimate guarantee that we know that the government would never let Goldman Sachs or Citi or Bank of America, no matter how risky their investments are, to fail. The whole too big to fail problem remains. So that's why I'm saying that contrary to what Gloria said, I'm afraid, there is so much the government can do right now. This administration can actually lay a line in the sand and say this is what needs to happen. Otherwise, we're pulling the rug in terms of our continuing support of Wall Street.
But where are Republicans, Ariana? You would think that this would be something. Ben Stein's talking about it, that Republicans and Democrats ought to do together. Easy, right?
It should be a Republican issue because it's an issue about the savers and small businessmen and investors of America who are being ripped off by their employees, namely the officers of the investment bank.
Well, let me just bring Joe in. Why is it taking so long for Congress and the administration administration to change the rules of the game, if you will. They promised they would, and so many of the experts, the economic analysts out there say there's no change at all since the disaster of a year ago.
Lobbying. That's it. Millions and millions of dollars poured into the system, even though some of these entities were encouraged not to lobby, given the fact that they were getting this money. So there's a lot of money floating around out there. And when you think about it, in the long run, that's at least part of the reason why we have such polarization. There are some people who give and some people who don't.
All right.